to the Empower Podcast. This is where we hold empowering conversations at the intersections of mental health, culture, and identity. You can think of this as your opportunity to listen in on candid conversations with trusted administrators in higher ed while you're on the go. This will be our final episode for the semester, but please stay tuned. We'll be back in the fall with more interesting topics and conversations. Also, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and follow, subscribe, and make sure you listen to all of our previous episodes to stay in the know. My name is Jessica, she, her pronouns, and I'm a Black, queer, able-bodied, cis woman who identifies as a first-generation college graduate and a licensed psychologist in the Counseling Center. And I'll kick it to my colleagues.
Hi everybody, my name is Whitney. I use she, her pronouns. I am a Black woman, born and raised Baltimorean, and a proud first-gen college graduate. I am a licensed psychologist and the Assistant Director for Social Justice here in the Counseling Center.
Hey, I'm Dennis. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a proud gay Puerto Rican man. Also first-generation college graduate, which I'm also really proud of. And I currently serve as the Associate Director of the Thrive Center for Student Success. And it is a pleasure, as always, to be here with the two of you.
Likewise.
Yes.
Likewise. Always honored to share space with y'all.
Yes. And you all can't see us, but we kind of match today. So it makes this last one especially pleasing and nice.
Absolutely. Yes. And y'all, it's been a semester.
It has been indeed. Yes.
And I could say for myself as an administrator that I'm excited that we're wrapping up. Definitely looking forward to the end of the spring semester, the coming of summer. We're finally venturing into those warmer temperature days. Right? So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yes. And also a lot of transition too, right? Like I think that this time, both in the season and the semester, always feels really interesting because it's like things are blossoming and blooming and there's a lot to look forward to, but it also does feel like we're kind of coming out of that like hibernation and where things have kind of paused, and like, yeah, it can be nerve-wracking or scary and bring up a lot of emotions to kind of be thrust into like this time of like change and evolution.
Yeah. And finality. I always feel like, I think we've joked about in previous podcasts that this has been simultaneously the longest year ever, but also it's been going by so quickly.
Yeah.
So I feel like every time we get to this point in the academic year, I'm like, how did we get here? And there's 1,001 things happening that we're trying to squeeze in before like everything officially wraps up. So I always just go back to like, because there's so many things going on, because there are so many emotions and feelings, like you alluded to, Whitney, it just can be, in some ways, a challenging time with everything that is going on, and everything that students are like grappling with as they look to wrap up another academic year. And for some, their final academic year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think about our graduating seniors, as Dennis mentioned, right? Not only tending to the classes they're in and current assignments, projects and papers that they're wrapping up, but I know I've had a lot of conversations with students about like doing what I need to do today and also planning for the future and how overwhelming that can be, especially with so much uncertainty in our socio-political landscape. I know the job market, depending on what sector you're trying to enter, not as stable as a lot of people thought it was going to be. So there's a lot of uncertainty that folks are, our graduating seniors are kind of wading in those waters. And I know that's been very overwhelming for folks.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day that it's been a very long time since I've been here as an undergrad preparing to graduate, but I think, sadly and unfortunately, like I think, and y'all this probably would have been generationally in the same kind of pool, like, yeah, graduating at the time of like a recession and like coming into college with all these expectations around what the next steps would look like, and then graduating during a time socially and economically where all of that is thrust into questioning, right? Like we also experience that, and so it's sadly, it's unfortunate to kind of be here again, and right, I feel particularly, I think, connected to this group of seniors and what they might be struggling through and entering into.
Yeah, for sure. And I also would hope that, shout out to the seniors listening. Congratulations. This is an incredible accomplishment. So I think in the midst of job searching and recessions and all of those, I think it's also important to acknowledge that, you did it. You know what it's like. It's not easy persevering through these 4 years of, so much uncertainty, tough academic rigor, just everything. So just one acknowledging that, kudos, you did it. And also still, while you're here, just realize that, the resources are still here. You don't really have to kind of struggle or navigate all of these kind of challenges on your own.
Yeah.
So definitely, don't think just because, hey, I'm only here for a couple more weeks, the university has not abandoned you. We're not turning away seniors. We still very much are here for you to help you kind of process all of the feelings that you may be grappling with during this time.
Yeah. Dennis, I appreciate you because it really is about holding the both and.
Yes.
Right? So yes, the excitement and being able to acknowledge all of the accomplishments. I would say for our underclass students, our first years through our juniors, knowing that it's been a long academic year. So we've all close to made it through. But holding both the excitement and yes, the uncertainty or the challenge and being able to do that and knowing that it's challenging to do that. I think something else that I've been able to share with a lot of students that I'm supporting is encouraging them to find their anchor, right? What is your anchor that helps keep you grounded? And whatever it is that, helps you feel firm, helps you have solid footing. That might not be what your friend needs, right? Or what they identify as their anchor, but as long as you can find and identify your anchors, that can be a way to kind of ground yourself in this moment where there is so much that's changing or so many competing emotions that you're grappling with. That said, I will share my own personal anchor because, even though the students are going through it, I think us staff and administrators on campus are having a lot to do too. My anchor for me, or at least one of my anchors, has definitely been trying to slow down and breathe. And that can sound real simple, real basic, but it's so essential when there is seemingly, again, kind of this whirlwind. I'm gesturing. I know y'all can't see me yet. Maybe we'll have a video piece coming soon. But yes, breathing and slowing down and acknowledging I can only do one thing at a time. I'm likely not the only person that's feeling this way. And then just using that opportunity of slowing down, breathing to collect myself and really create a plan of how I'm going to tackle all the pieces, right? Because we know at the end of the year, with all this energy, there's lots of things to get done, lots of things to wrap up. And I think that frenzied energy can almost put us in a space of frenzy, but you got to create your calm. So breathing, taking time, that's been helpful for me.
Yeah, I love that. I think something else that I saw a video on a while ago, and it's been I think, to use your language, a really great anchor for me, and something that I've been telling students is I think especially in this season, we can have this idea of what it means to end something perfectly. And so then we approach everything like it is make or break, right? And so being able to really take a step back and be every ball is not a glass ball. And so instead of looking at it I'm just dropping all these balls and they're shattering, and then you're trying to avoid these glass shards, to actually reframe it as to, I have these balls, some are rubber, some are glass. which ones can I put down? Which ones can I put down because I can choose when I'm going to pick them back up? They're durable, they have some bounce to them, they'll be
Right.
okay. And then which ones are the ones that are really kind of fragile or time specific, and I need to do it now. And then, like you said, Jessica, that's going to be different for everybody, right? But being able to do that for yourself, and then also not getting wrapped into comparison, right? So looking over, somebody else might be putting 100% into something that might be glass to them, it might be rubber to you, and that is okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love these analogies. Anchors, balls. For me, I always just tell students, especially, well, not even just for seniors, but I always tell people to like take it day by day and enjoy it. Whether you're graduating, whether you're coming back next year, like every semester is unique.
Yeah.
And just appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
And take the time, breathe, find what makes the most sense to hold on to or to let go, and just be in the moment.
Yeah.
Because you know you're not going to have this moment again.
Yeah.
So I always just try to remind students about that. Despite all the stress, despite all the emotions, good, bad, or indifferent, just find something each day to really enjoy and like be present in fully.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
That just felt like a big hug to me.
I know. I really like that.
And I'm like not a hugger. So I think through my words, right? Like physical touch is like way down in my like, you know, but I'm a words of affirmation. So I think that's kind of where it may come across.
Yeah.
I feel affirmed, so
Yes.
lovely.
Yes. And that's so real to enjoy it. When I think about enjoyment, I also think about being kind to yourself and caring for yourself. And I know some people can experience that as very woo-woo, right? How can I be kind to myself? I got all this stuff to get done, or, you know, yada, yada, yada. But I think in enjoying your experience, there is inherently an acknowledgement that you have worked for this. And I think we can all say that within the higher ed space. Like, we're putting in a whole lot of work on a daily basis. Working part-time jobs, attending classes, right? Managing and navigating relationships. Like, life is hard. So I really want to double down on that enjoyment piece and finding ways to be kind to yourself, because you deserve to enjoy things.
Yeah. And I even think, like, you know, so I think we probably all hear students like sometimes getting stressed about like the purpose of a thing. And I think to your point, like, we have to be, to both of your points, we have to be present in it, and we have to really be able to be in touch with the joy of it, to be able to like be in touch with the purpose of a thing. Like, purpose doesn't just fall out of the sky, right? Like, it is something that is like cultivated and crafted. And even, you know, when you think about it, for somebody who believes that purpose is spiritually derived, it's still a relationship to be engaged with. And just like you would be kind and compassionate in your relationships with other people, you have to do that in your relationship with yourself to then be present in your purpose.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is so good. I feel like we've been dropping these gems and nuggets all throughout the conversation already.
Yes.
But what are some of the takeaway tips that we want to leave folks with as we wrap up this semester and the academic year?
Yeah. I mean, I would just say for me, it's like feel your feels. Whatever they are, lean into them, feel them, embrace them. But also with that, just identifying the support that you may need. So whatever that is, whether you're back home, whether you're on campus for the summer, whether you're in the city, just whatever support looks like, just trying to find those resources that kind of help you along the way.
Yeah, I love that. And I think to build off of that, my takeaway would be like, you know, don't think you have to do any of this alone. I think we talk a lot about like self-care, but I think to think about what does care look like in community feels so significant. Even if it's things like, you know, yeah, we are like, let's all take a nap for an hour, right? So that we can alleviate this piece of like, I should be studying, I should be working, but also you need sleep. So what it would be like if everybody in your friend group's like, we're going to take a nap, we're going to set our alarms, we'll check in to make sure that folks are waking up, you know, we'll check in around progress, right? Like, what does it look like to care for one another, and to hold our kind of respective needs in community. And also I think that that's a really good way to kind of move through some of the dissonance and some of the loss that might be coming up right now, is to like intentionally think about ways to be present with each other and to maintain relationships when you're not here, even if that's that you're graduating or it's that you're going home, because then it's something you said before we started recording, is that like for a lot of people, you know, this is their safe space. They're not going back to spaces that are the most supportive, and so being able to be intentional about maintaining those connections is so necessary for a lot of people. Like it can truly be life-saving.
Absolutely. And I will piggyback on your sharing, Whitney, and just add that, like, even if you are preparing to transition from Loyola's community, if you're graduating, if you are just planning to leave for the summer and you plan to come back, just knowing you likely still have access to resources, even if you aren't aware of it. So for our graduating seniors, y'all still have access to the Career Center. I know they have some amazing support that's available, certainly as you are navigating your career path. We haven't named it directly, but you do not have to know what you need, what your forever job is going to be upon graduating, right? So literally taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, but knowing you still have access to resources. For our students who are taking classes over the summer, a lot of the campus offices, offices across campus, including the Counseling Center and the Thrive Center for Student Success, we're still open, right? So like staff members probably would be willing to meet with you over the summer in ways, and available to meet with you over the summer in ways that, you know, during the full academic year, when things are in full swing, maybe there isn't as much capacity or flexibility. So like tap in during the summer if you all are here. I think that's a great way to really take advantage and leverage those resources. And for folks who might be transferring or transitioning to other communities, like Whitney said, just maintaining those relationships that you built, knowing that those don't have to end if you're leaving this space. And that is a way that you care for yourself, right? By staying connected, talking to people, feeling the feelings, and doing that in community. That's how we all get through.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I want to sing that Vitamin C song, but I won't. The graduation
the typical
song.
one. Oh yeah, the graduation one. Yeah.
I won't do that to you all, though. But that's what my heart wants to do. I just want to name it.
And I love it. I feel bad because I knew the artist when you mentioned
Right.
the context, but yes. Yes, this is a very heartwarming time. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much for being along this ride with us. We're certainly wishing you all the best as you wrap up your semesters. And as always, take care, be well, and stay empowered.